So as the sun comes down and dawns back into to the earth, let's first talk about, will streaming apps replace going to the movies moving forward in the future? I think this is a good topic because we are literally on both sides of the coin. If anybody who wasn't part of the blip and was actually around in the last year and a half, you've had to deal with COVID and quarantine and not being able to go out freely as you used to back in 2019 and things of that nature. And it's affected how these companies have distributed content, how, what movies have been released, when they haven't been released, what have they done with them? All sorts of things have been adjusted based off what's been going on with COVID around the world. Now, Disney, in particular, have created a solution where they will drop a movie that was going to go to theaters, scheduled within this last year and a half, that couldn't go to theaters, would then be available. What's the term they use? Early release, premiere release,
something early access or
premiere access,
access, something like that.
Some fancy shit to say, here's $30 you need to pay for on top of your regular monthly subscription. Now, Brian, I'll go to you. I'll go to you first, B. Walt. What do you think about streaming apps? They know we don't agree, but where are you on this side of the? What side of the argument are you on?
So you literally talked for 5 minutes. I'm thinking you were just gonna go ahead with your whole spiel. I got all comfortable and whatnot. Now I got to speak.
That's why I stopped talking. You are doing a live podcast with a mask on. No one is there. No one is there.
Hey, I'm trying to stay safe. I'm trying to stay safe. I don't know what you got. Okay. Until I get my shots, this is what I'm doing. Okay.
How many shots you need? Many shots you need?
7.
Why do you need 7?
Just to be safe. Just to be safe.
That's disgusting. That is absolutely disgusting.
Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So streaming apps. I don't think that they will fully replace going to the show. I do think that they are offering a relatively tangible alternative. And I think it's working well.
Why is that?
Well, me and you, we used to hit the show a lot, man. You know what I'm saying? We go to premieres, we have our little with us and shit, you know what I mean? We going to the, you know what I'm saying? We got, we used to go. So you know how it is. The thing with going to the show is you're gonna drop if you old school, traditional, whatever, you're about to drop at least $30 for them tickets, especially out here out west. At least $30 for them tickets for you and your lady friend, right? You're gonna spend at least $600 at the concession stand. And you got to factor in parking and money for paying for parking and so on and so forth, all that kind of stuff. Gas if you're driving far.
What are you getting at the concession stand, bro? What are you getting?
If you get a tap water and some popcorn, that's $17. Like these motherfuckers rip you off at the concession stand. They rip you off at the concession stand. Some gummy bears, motherfuckers, some Snickers, some shit this is the reason why we sneak shit into the theaters when we were shorties. Because we knew damn well that you wasn't going to be able to afford the concession stand. So we would hit up like Walgreens or whatever, stuff them in the pockets and then you straight. Everybody knows that. But as adults, being adults, law-abiding citizens that we are, we don't do that kind of shit no more. We actually have to pay for that shit. And you will come, you basically double your prices at the concession stand. That's $30 for tickets, at least $30, $40 for everything at the concession stand. I'm in no means a cheap dude. I ain't never been a cheap dude. I don't have to be. However, I like the alternative. I like to have the choice. Like, maybe I don't feel like dealing with AMC today. Black as Fuck headquarters got big ass TVs in this motherfucker. So it's like being at the theater, just a couple rows back. $30.
Yeah.
I could
What row did you say in sound check? Row 10? That's where
row
you sit
10.
usually?
Well, I'm saying, and row 10 is equivalent to close to the similar viewing to the TV that we got at Black as Fuck headquarters.
Has Black as Fuck, has the headquarters upgraded since I've been there?
Yes.
And I'm just now finding out on the show.
That's original hotness.
I know that TV.
That's original hotness. Upstairs is hotness 2.0. But I say that to say, I think that I think it's a good alternative, because if you don't want to deal with people, and I give you talk about Disney. I've watched at least 2 Disney flicks right now. I've just dropped the extra 30, and I watched 2 Disney flicks so far, and they were
What'd
good.
you watch?
What was it? The Mulan, which was solid, and then Raya, whatever that's called. That shit's fresh. That's good. So for me, yeah, I can see it as an alternative. I don't see it as totally replacing it, because that would be like destroying an entire industry, like streaming services did to Blockbuster. I don't see them doing that, but I do see them as a viable alternative if you don't want to deal with all the rest of that shit.
Well, that's I believe that's Blockbuster's fault. They were like, nah, why would we stop renting video cassettes? Like, they're not going anywhere. They disregarded the future and the convenience of what technology could present, which is a whole nother thing, because Netflix presented them an idea and an agreement to, be a part, be together, collaborate in this way. And Blockbuster said, nah. And now, somewhere between now and the next 6 months, the last one in Minnesota is going to be going bye-bye. So that's on them.
Watching Netflix.
Well, this is actually a part of it, because I don't have Netflix per se. I have a password from her. That's the least she could do, but that's a whole nother thing. But we talked about it in Soundcheck. I love HBO Max. Like, that's my favorite streaming platform. They got new movies, they got old movies, they got old movies, and they got all of the DC animated fucking films. I am good. And they got all the Miyazaki movies as well. I am good. I'm home. They got the Boondocks. I'm good. Best money I spent, best value.
They got Fresh Prince. They got a couple other things on there too.
Right. So I'm good with everything that they're doing. I don't feel, for the most part, I don't think streaming apps could replace the experience that is intended to have for a consumer when they go to the theater. Yeah, it is $30 for 2 tickets. Yeah, it is $10 for parking with the validation. Yeah, that juju beads and the Dasani water and then 2 slices of pizza you're not supposed to have is like $45 for some reason. And there's no like illegal substances at all. There's like no edibles, no alcohol or nothing. That's just regular save on shit.
Costco leftovers.
Right. But no, and without giving away everything that Black AF is working on, in terms of creating films and being that that atmosphere and that experience, no, I don't think it'll ever replace. I think a lot of those like directly to TV movies, they can go on those platforms, sure, absolutely. But I think that gets sort of muddy in its own right, because you got a Disney Plus, who are like the main people that like, well, I won't say the main because HBO's been doing it as well, but Disney will say, hey, you got to pay $30 on top of this to see this movie that's going to be on the platform in about 4 months for free, for that included into your subscription. I'm gonna wait. Fuck that. You're not gonna get $30 from me when I know I can wait. That's $30 I can use towards something. I could put towards something I want to smoke or eat, or do something else with. Like, that's why you pay the monthly subscription. I don't think it'll replace it. I hope it doesn't. With COVID, there are a lot of people that won't go out like they used to because of what COVID did or didn't do. Plain and simple. And I feel like, well, it's a good option, but I don't think it should replace it. If the movie's good, if the movie's of quality, it should be in the theater. It should be able to hold your attention for 90 minutes to 2 hours, and it should be worth everything that we talked about. All the over expensive shit. But if it's not, then it should be on the streaming platform. But I don't think it should be worth $30 extra. No, I don't. HBO gets Warner Brothers deals. All their movies that were supposed to come out, they come to HBO Max on the schedule as if it was a theater. That makes sense to me. There should be movies specifically for that.
I don't think that the experience can be replaced, because I was going to the show so much. I actually had that credit card. Remember that movie pass credit card?
Yeah.
Where you could go to like a movie a day for free.
Yep.
And then they whole model was fucked up, so they didn't last very long. But the idea was cool. It was just the model was shit. But I'm one of the ones who actually really liked the theater experience. However, because of the whole change in the world, because of COVID and stuff like that, I like the alternative. And yeah, you're right. Movies come out. They come to Disney, and then maybe 4 to 5 months later, they'll be back on Disney for free. But I mean, if you want to watch it for $30 for a couple weeks early, that's on you. Do it if you want to.
Well, and let me ask, because you've done it, because I haven't.
Yeah.
Do you get to keep the movie once you get your premiere access?
I believe so, but I haven't actually gone back and watched them again. So, I mean, like to tell you, I've done it twice. Right?
It's nothing.
So Raya, I would watch again at some point. Mulan, I probably would not watch again. So,
and then you got
back to check.
And then and like I don't know. Like, I think I get the whole let's put them on a streaming app right now, because up until 60 days ago, everything was closed down. So that made sense as of 60 days of us recording this. But the people that are making these movies and improving these movies and releasing these movies need to be held accountable as well. Like me and you talked about this, like if it's a Christopher Nolan flick, I trust what he's going to put out. You know what I mean? So going to the theater, I know, if Nolan's making it, I'm more than likely going to enjoy the movie one way or the other.
But how many movies have you gone to the theater thinking, damn, this shit gonna be hot, and it turned out to be ass?
Right. And that's my point to this situation, because I'm thankful I couldn't go to the theater when Wonder Woman 1984 dropped, because I would have been fucking even more pissed than I already am about that movie.
But see, the thing is, I think you're asking the industry to be a lot more honest than it wants to be with the consumers. Every movie that comes out, the people making it want you to see it, regardless if they know it's a pound of shit or not. We can go back to the original Justice League, right? That was a pound of steaming hot butthole, whatever. It was disgustingly bad. Okay? It was terrible. But everybody went to go see that shit, They knew it was shitty when they released it, but they knew motherfuckers was gonna see it, so they didn't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? You asking them to be
Facts.
real honest to divvy it up. Oh, this movie's not that great. Let's put it on the stream. Nobody is thinking that when they first create a movie. They're like, nah, we're trying to get this money. You know what I'm saying? I could think of another movie. Remember Riddick back in the day?
Chronicles of Riddick, yeah.
The first one was all right, but the one after that, I don't even remember because I walked out. I walked out of the flick. I walked into that shit thinking, and it's the only movie that I've ever done that to. On some real shit. I've come close with other ones, but that's the only movie that I was like, man, this is some bullshit. I gotta leave. And I actually left 3/4 of the way through. I've never done that before. Okay. I didn't walk into that saying, man, you know what? I'm just waiting for this shit to come out on VHS because at the time they still had VHS. You know what I'm saying? I didn't think that. But it was booty. It was ass. But the people who created wasn't like, oh yeah, this movie's probably trash. Just, buy it in the $5 bin at Walmart when it comes out a year and a half later. Like, no, they're not gonna do that. How do you decide which one is gonna go which way?
I mean, there's tons of ways, but I agree. I hear what you're saying. My thing is that, like, when you go to the theater, like, there's so many different distractions that can happen while you're at the house or at someone's house when you're watching when you're watching a movie, especially one that was intended to be in the movie theater. Like, I know this, I know you know this, so I'm not speaking to you, but there is a ton of nuance that comes into play that factors into your experience of even to enjoy the movie in the theater as opposed to doing it straight from the living room. Like, by the time, and maybe I'm conditioned, but by the time I see it in the living room, I already know that I've seen or consumed 60 or 80% of what the movie's supposed to be about because I saw it in the theater already. I still have that inside me. I still remember that. So I'm already looking for different things on my next run or my next watch or rerun of it. But I like, okay, let's take Justice League again. Let's take this cut, the Snyder cut. What did Pete say on the show 2 weeks ago? What did he say? He had to watch it in increments because of everything that he had going on in his life at that time. And this is in the middle of a quarantine. And that's what I mean about, I don't think it's fair to movies that are good that you actually want to see, that they should come straight to the theater or straight to the streaming app, because you won't get to experience it the way you really should be that first time. It's
But see, the thing is, there's distractions that can happen at the movie theater too.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've been there where there was a bomb threat and we had to leave. I've been there when the power went out. I've been there when niggas was talking on the phone.
That was at Magic Johnson Theater. Go on and say it.
Magic Johnson Memorial Theater. I did not know about Magic Johnson Theater at this point. I'm still talking about the hood shit back home that I was at. You know what I'm saying? But so, I mean, distractions is distractions. If you really want to watch the fucking movie, you know how to do it so you ain't got no distractions when you're at the crib. You can control those distractions a lot more, I would argue, than you could if you was in the theater. You can't stop some dipshit in row 3 from texting somebody and then blinding everybody behind them while the movie's on. But you can turn your fucking phone off when you're at the crib. So you know what I'm saying? Like there's certain controls that you have in the house that you don't have outside of the house. Right? So
yeah.
So and then again, like you gotta understand, like I said, I prefer the theater experience. Because I grew up doing that, but I will not knock the alternative when it suits me. You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Let's say, hypothetically, you were making a movie, right? Where do you want your movie to be released? On a streaming app or in the theater?
like I said, the theater experience is the better experience for me. But the accountant side of me, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna get paid regardless of where it goes. But the movie buff, the movie person, the movie nerd that I am, I prefer going to see things in the theater. If you're talking about something that I made, that's a little bit different.
Well, that's why I'm asking. Because if you were to make a movie and it goes straight to the streaming app, that affects your money. That loses an entire opportunity to make some of the bread back that you put up, or that you invested into.
Not necessarily. It just depends on
what
how
you
you
mean.
do it.
What you mean? What you don't go to streaming apps and then go to the theaters? I mean, you could do that, but then at that point, we talking about $6.
Other people are releasing their movies on apps that require you to pay to watch them. I got a homie right now that he's released two indie films full length where you have to pay $9 to access that film for a short amount of time. So there's ways around that. Again, like I said, it's not going to replace the experience. I would rather be at the theater watching it, but as an alternative, if I can't make it, and I like for instance, Mortal Kombat coming out, what, in like 2 weeks?
April 23rd.
23rd.
Yep.
Now, if the theaters was open, I would go see it there, but knowing that it was on HBO Max, I can't make it to the theater. I'm finna go to the Black as Fuck headquarters theater and do my thing. Know what I'm
saying? And in that instance right there, I think the atmosphere and the climate of what we're dealing with right now, this is perfect for Mortal Kombat. I think these type of, I want to say middling movies, but I think the numbers for Mortal Kombat could potentially be better than they would this way than they would in the theaters, because anybody who's ever gone to a Mortal Kombat movie in the theaters remember how shitty they were. You know what I mean? So there's a stigma with that. This way, it's like, first of all, got to do it once. First of all the trailers look hot. All the trailers look hot. I'm stoked. What is that? A Friday? Yeah. I gotta meet up with some people that are COVID free and do that one with some folks of mine, because I'm looking forward to it. Let's just put it like that. But my point is, I think a movie of that caliber could excel in this situation, in this environment right now. But you're talking about
because of the history of those types of movies sucking.
Because of the history, that's negative. But it's like I know I've talked to people that are still they're very curious about, that should look dope. I'm glad I ain't got to pay for it. You know what I mean? Because they don't feel like that pressure. Because when you buy a ticket to the theater, you're saying, yes, okay, let's see what you got. Let's see. This is a safer place for movies like that, because HBO you've already paid for. That's why I have a problem specifically with the $30 that Disney's doing. It's got to be.
But if you look at Disney movies, though, and the amount of revenue that they generate when they are released to the theater, Disney, like I said, these companies are in it for the bread. Okay, so if HBO worked out some deal to be able to release all these Warner Brothers flicks on their shit, guaranteed that they're being compensated pretty well for them. And the movies is coming out, and the movies is like you said so yourself. I don't have high expectations for Mortal Kombat. I'm gonna watch it because I grew up playing Mortal Kombat. The shit looked fresh, so I'm gonna watch it. And I grew up playing Mortal Kombat. But the first Mortal Kombat that came out looked fresh. for the time, oh shit, Mortal Kombat's coming out, and that shit was ass. It was ass, right? So
Yeah.
on April 23rd, you gonna watch it. I'm finna watch it too. And it can do nothing but go up because what our expectations are so low because of the other Mortal Kombat that came out, right?
Yeah.
But Disney movies very rarely tank. They very rarely do bad. As a matter of fact, Disney movies come out and they already got all the parody that's coming out with it. They got the toys and shit. They got the video games on the way. Like Disney don't fuck around. When they move, they fucking move. You know what I'm saying? And they're gonna and every move they make is money orientated. You know what I'm saying? Every move they make is money orientated. I'll let you think about where that lyric came from. But that $30 for that, like, dude, they're still selling. Look, they're still selling Lion King DVDs for $25. Like,
and I'm like, who's buying it though? Like everybody own it, everybody's seen it, and they're still getting in. I mean, we could go on back and forth about this all day.
Man. Disney just they caking, man. So it doesn't surprise me that they would do that with the flicks.
Disney's gonna bring out the greatest fighting game of all time because it's gonna have Marvel, Star Wars, Kingdom Hearts. It's gonna be somebody else. I'm sure they own somebody else that I know I'm not thinking of right now. But yeah,